The Bermuda Triangle of the Deep, Mysterious Ship and Submarine Incidents.
1996 Korean Gangneung Incident. Being mysteriously strange, one of the series of North Korean submarine incidents in the 1990s was one of them. The accident by itself was the result of a North Korean submarine running aground on the South Korean coast. Perhaps the bizarre part, however, was that the submarine was initially intended to collect North Korean commandos who were supposedly collecting intelligence in the south. Astonishingly, the commandos were said to have executed the submarine crew for their mistake and were terminated by the South Korean military. After the terrifying incident, South Korea's consul was terminated in a mysterious poisoning, which was later said to have been done by the same poison as the kind found inside the submarine. Missing submarine in 1968. Strangely, not one but 4 separate submarines went inexplicably missing in the same exact year. These submarines were a Soviet submarine, USS Scorpion, a French submarine Minerve, and the INS Dakar. Perhaps making it more spooky, the last 2 submarines disappeared only 4 days apart. Astonishingly, the Minerve has still never been found, even though it only disappeared an hour away from its home port. Is it just a coincidence that 4 giant machines would all have misfortunes in the same year, or is it something more sinister? Though no one has firm evidence of these bizarre incidents. The Marlborough. Knowing the facts that Marlborough was a merchant sailing ship built in Glasgow, Scotland in 1876. Estimated by 1890, the ship was regularly sailing between London and New Zealand, carrying cargoes of wool and frozen meat. Reportedly in January 1890, the Marlborough suddenly vanished without a trace soon after leaving New Zealand. Though not sure about the facts, but Singapore newspaper claims that the ship had been found close to Cape Horn in October 1913. It was even claimed that Marlborough was still afloat for around 23 years after her mysterious disappearance, with the skeletal remains of all the crew still aboard. Soon, when the communication attempts failed, there was allegedly no sign of an accident on board. 2003 Chinese submarine 361. This Chinese Navy submarine 361 sank in the Bohai Sea, the area between China and North Korea. Strangely, the submarine was caught in a bizarre accident. Soon, the submarine was found by Chinese fishermen, the same person who found its remains 10 days after the accident. It is alleged that the submarine was taking part in a silent drill, but no official explanation was given by China, apart from claiming it was a mechanical difficulty. Free winds. Also famously known as quarantine. The Scientologists who were quarantined on the cruise liner Free Winds for 3 weeks, unlikely didn't enjoy their unplanned vacation. However, things were far worse for the sailors and Marines, the crew of the USS Fort McHenry, who has been trapped at sea for months after an outbreak of the rare disease of parotitis. Literally, no one had any idea how the outbreak of amphibious caused everybody on board to miss Christmas, as they were denied permission to dock at any port after the bizarre outbreak began in December. The illness was highly contagious and presented symptoms similar to mumps. Finally, in May 2019, they were set free and allowed to meet their family. Surcouf. There are several theories, and many people think and claim that they know what happened to the Surcouf, a French submarine. Reportedly, the submarine sank somewhere off the Caribbean coast of Panama in February 1942. Around the time of its disappearance, an American steamship struck something large underwater about 70 miles from the entrance to the Panama Canal, exactly where the Surcouf was heading from Bermuda. However, some of the steamship crew thought they heard shouts in English, but they didn't stop because they were worried it was a German submarine. Soon after this, no trace of the Surcouf, which housed a float plane in a hangar on board the submarine, has ever been found. USS Cyclops. Best known as the missing Navy ship, The steel-hulled Cyclops vanished with 306 men on board en route to Baltimore from Brazil in March 1918. The USS went down in the Bermuda Triangle with all hands, leaving behind a mystery that remains unsolved to this day. Several theories abound on what happened to the 542-foot-long steamship, which was carrying manganese to make munitions. There was even some rumor that the Germans sank it, while others thought that a German barn captain was behind it and sank it on purpose. Unfortunately, things seemed to go awry with the voyage from the very start.